Okay, I'm reviewing the Cinderella movie from 2015. I like this film a lot. I don't think although the changes that he made is a little, there's one change that he made that's at the end that, and I'll get to that, it's a little questionable why I understand they had to make changes, and most of the time the changes worked out for the better. Except the one thing at the end. The scene is actually kind of fucking laughable and terrifying at the same time of what Cinderella does at the end. So we get in this version we get a more fleshed out Prince Charming. We actually know about his we get he actually before his we get to see what his litigation was like before his father, before he got sick and left his heritage to him. Cinderella, well, not so much. She doesn't get more fleshed out. She doesn't get less, but she doesn't get more fleshed out than she did in the Disney animated classic of Cinderella, the first one that Disney made of Cinderella, the first Disney animated film of Cinderella. Yeah, if you don't know, there's like 3 animated Disney Cinderella films that take place in the same continuity. The same Cinderella. So, I like what they did with the prince in this. I like that they changed the story a bit. They didn't change it, when I say change it, they didn't totally change it. They nearly expanded upon his story. I wish they did the same thing for Cinderella because they did not. At all. So, Cinderella, she gets worked to death really hard. But yeah, she's trying to keep an upbeat spirit, and then one day she breaks by her 3 ugly stepsisters. Yes, that's what they're called. Don't let her just go to a ball. Well, actually, I remember something. No, they did expand on her story a bit. I just wish they expanded on her story more than they did. So they do equally job expanding on Prince Charming and Cinderella's story character arcs. And it opens up with there was a time when the oldest Cinderella's stepmother was actually nice at one point to Cinderella. But then she got jealous because she sees how the father loves Cinderella so much more than his new wife. So that turned her into a cold, heartless monster. And when Cinderella's father passes away over illness, a serious illness, probably the same illness that the king passes away, that Prince Charming's father passes away, and both lose their father around the same time, I think, yeah, I think that's it. And actually, no, when the prince father's death happens later in the film, after the royal ball. So Cinderella had a very happy childhood until her father died because he got sick and weakened too much, and and he couldn't fight the sickness, so his body gave out physically. And since then, her life has been turned upside down to happy town to miserable town. Because of her stepmother was jealous because her stepmother was jealous of Cinderella because her father wanted to spend more time with his daughter than her over her, and he loved her daughter more, his daughter so much more than his wife, which I think is kind of stupid to be jealous over. I mean, it's not like he was cheating on her, which he wasn't in this film. So yeah, it sounds like a kind of... I can only imagine that I guess she didn't have that. I guess my best guess, the reason why she was liked, I don't know. I feel like there was a better way you could have, and Cinderella was very nice to her, was very nice to her the entire time, even when her father was around. She was very nice to her, and they got together and swimming like mother and daughter. They got together really nicely, bonded really nicely. And I guess it seems like Cinderella wanted to spend more time with her mother, her father over her stepmother. And I guess that also made her jealous, and that turned her heart into a cold, heartless black heart, basically. And yeah, so then we have a bit of a time jump. Cinderella is then we have the days when Cinderella's miserable, and she is can't help but think of a better time of a more simpler time. She's happy because she's thinking of the more simpler times when she really was happy. And yeah, so this film is a little depressing at times, I feel like, which is keeping the spirit of the original, because the original was really depressing at times. So she goes on the night and actually instead of just dancing with the prince out on the ball, she actually gets to know the prince a little bit and his history of it. Because she doesn't just get just a dance. The dance part comes last. She does dance with the prince, but it's not in a ball. It's in this maze that's made out of grass in this garden. And she got her wish of being happy for only one night, and because of this godmother, and she gave the godmother water because she didn't judge appearance, but based on her actions, not by her appearance. So I mean, it's a little different than this crying, than the godmother instantly disappearing. And the godmother is played by, I forget what this actress name, but she's a really good actress. She does a good job playing the godmother. And I was comparing, like, a scene, and the scene that I was talking about, crying, the godmother appears out of nowhere. That was in the original Disney animated film. That's how it went down. So they made that changes. I feel like they made enough changes to keep the heart of the original, to justify it as a Cinderella film. but also enough changes to make it its own story. And to go back to watch this film again. Personally, I like this film a lot more than the live-action 101 Dalmatians a lot. Because I felt like the took more risks with telling the story. Whereas the 100 Close 100 Dalmatians didn't really took that risk in the story. In fact, it was kind of a more cartoonier, dumbed-down version of the story. It wasn't completely identical, but you're just going to have to tune in that for another review when I get around to reviewing it, okay? And, so Cinderella gets a tour of I guess to know the prince a bit, and yet realize that she's not just a jerk. That he's actually got pretty much. She's actually a nice human, kind-hearted soul, like herself, and cares about other people other than himself, and really wants to rule the kingdom to benefit the people, those who are less fortunate than him. And this is all happening while she's getting a tour of his house, and bonding and stuff. And then they end up in the garden, and that's when they're playing on a swing set, and then they start dancing. Then the clock goes off, the whole bong bong, and that's how she knows it's midnight. And then she has to disappear, and you see the whole thing going. You're gonna see the whole. She goes back to her ride, and while she's the whole thing shrinking and turning back to its original form, including Cinderella's dress, and if you feel you feel serious and journalistic, you hope she gets this back in time before anyone notices that she's gone. Like a stepmother and two ugly stepsisters. That's what they're called. And yeah, so she leaves up behind a glass slipper, a glass shoe, which is glass slippers, another word for shoe, I guess. And the prince wants to find her. So next time he starts going on a scavenger hunt to find the right person. And she tries everyone in town. It doesn't quite fit. But I like what they did was this is the part of the story that the change I really liked. See, the mean stepmother somehow stole the fairy godmother's wand, and knows about the fairy godmother and stole her wand. So this is on the prince Charming comes to Cinderella's house, but Cinderella's locked in the attic. And instead of wondering how the heck to get out, she decides to probably the most insane, hilarious, delusional thing, and it's charming and it's funny and scary all at the same time. She says closing her eyes, imagining, thinking about what a wonderful night she had, being happy with the prince. It's charming and scary. It's heartwarming. It's hilarious. It's all these emotions that you should have, and all emotions that you shouldn't have while watching this thing. So these mice set her free and unlock the door. That are her friends, and they were all only friends when she was living in that godforsaken place with the two ugly stepsisters and the mean stepmother. So, and I gotta say, I really love the cast in this film. Everyone does a really good job, and I really am impressed like how well the girl who plays Cinderella actually plays Cinderella well. So, and also how well the guy played Prince Charming, and so okay, I'm not done with the story, right. So I'm going to save my comments later. So I really also like okay, so. He tries it on both of his stepsisters, and the mean evil stepmother does something that's really clever. It's the way to tell the story. Instead of it just fitting Cinderella, and Cinderella's on her way down to confess her love to the prince, but she's too late because the evil stepmother did the whole knows what the magic words to make the wand work, and she wishes baby Bobby, and waves the wand while hiding the wand with her arm and waving it, and the foot shrinks enough to fit the other stepsister's foot. So now he found the person. He found the person that was what he considered the love of his life, but he feels like something's odd. The prince feels like there's something odd. He just can't quite put his finger on it. He found the right person that finds his shoe, but he's not he's not happy. He's not that happily fooled. He's fooled, but he's not happily fooled because he feels like there's something off. Like there's this magic between the two, and there was magic between them two, and he feels like that magic's just not there, and so Cinderella finds this out, and basically being a good sport about it, and being really depressed and sad about this because he's going to get married to the wrong person, and so the prince says he wants to wait in the house and for a bit and just get some moment of clarity and think things over. And so this is my favorite part. Cinderella and the Prince Charming both meet each other. And she's wearing these raggedy clothes that she normally wears. Because she doesn't come from place of fortune, but no one would give her that fortune to have, well, nice looking clothes or make her nice looking clothes because she was treated so poorly. So, and her hair's all messed up and stuff. Her hair's a little bit knotted. And, so, Cinderella comes clean her and the prince are in the same room, and he doesn't need a glass slipper to find out that really is his true love. He has the feeling that when he knows because he has this weird feeling when he's around her, just by looking at her and talking to her. So true love conquered all. This is one of the things where this is the number one change where I think that this number one thing, the thing I just told you, the scene I just told you is what I think makes it a better movie than the Disney original film, Cinderella, the animated film. Because I felt like the whole getting the glass shoe on the right person, it sounds a bit like a shoehorn and plot thread, and it sounds like it's kind of cheating with the story to just find the easy way out. But this took a different route. I like how this took a different route of how you can tell the Cinderella story, and I really love this. And and the prince has the glass slipper in his hand, and he's just looking at it. And while one of these stepsisters are waiting in the carriage, while Cinderella and Prince Charming are in the same in Cinderella's house, getting to know each other, and I think, if I remember correctly, he figures out before she comes clean of who she really is. So, because I love how I love how the whole thing plays out. Like, it plays out with her entering the room and her just taking her last look at the man of her dreams and saying goodbye to him, and but it's just not really saying goodbye to him, just taking one look at him, and she says, "So the slipper fits." So the slipper fits. Congratulations, you found her. And the mean stepmother broke the whole news that she's too late because they fooled him. So she just gives up and this wants to take. She just wants to be in the same room with him before she never sees him again. So yeah. He figures out she's the one that she's the one that he hanged out with all night, and told her so many secrets about himself. She basically says, "You got me. I'm Cinderella." And she explains that this is what she normally looks like, because this is how she. This is because she just explains the whole. She lives like this because, and that's why. So that's why she dresses like this. She lives poorly, and dresses poorly, and doesn't really take that good care of herself. She doesn't say exactly like that. She says it in her own way, because I can't remember the exact dialogue to this film. Okay, so. And, the people that work for the prince think that he's absolutely nuts, because he can tell that that's his true love, and he can tell that the other one, one of the main stepsisters, is just posing as his true love. So he pulls the girl out of the carriage, the main stepsister, and